Summary in the interpretation of the Holy Quran, page 37 of the Quran. If you divorce women, and they reach their end, hold them with a favor or release them with a favor, and do not hold them harmless to assault them, and whoever does so has wronged himself. And do not take the signs of God, shake and remember the grace of God on you and what has been revealed to you from the book and wisdom preaching to you. Fear God and know that God knows everything. 231. And if you divorce women, they will reach their end, then there is no you make them trouble to break their husbands if they agree between them by virtue that is preached by those of you who believed in God and the other day that is the brightest and purest for you and God knows and you do not know. 232. And mothers breastfeed their children around 2 full circles for those who want to be breastfed, and the newborn has their livelihood, and clothing them with virtue does not cost the same except her ability does not harm the mother her child, and no child has his son, and the heir has such a thing. If they want to separate from their consent and consultation, there is no wing on them, and if you want to breastfeed your children, there is no wing on you if you surrender what you have done with the good. Fear God and know that God by what you do is insightful. 233. If you divorce your women, they are nearing the end of their counting, you may retract them or leave them by virtue irrevocably until their counting expires, and do not retract them in order to attack and harm them as he did in ignorance, and whoever does so with the intention of harming them, know that God knows everything in all things, nothing is hidden from him, and he will reward you with your deeds. 232. If you divorce your women less than 3 shots, and their countenance ends, then do not prevent them, dear ones, from returning to their husbands with a new contract in marriage if they so wish, and agreeing with their husbands on it. That provision forbidding them from being forbidden reminds those of you who believed in God and the last day, that they are more developed for good in you, cleaner of your symptoms and deeds than the impurities, and God knows the facts and consequences of things, and you do not know that. 233. Mothers breastfeed their children for 2 full years, which is limited to 2 years for those who intend to complete the period of lactation, and the father of the child must maintain and dress nursing mothers who are divorced, as people have come to know, which does not contravene the Sharia. God does not cost a soul more than its capacity, and it is not possible for one of the parents to take the child as a means of harm to the other, and to the heir of the child if the father is not there, and the child has no money like the father's rights. The parents want to wean the child before the completion of the 2 years, there is no sin on them in doing so, if it is after consulting and agreeing on what is in the interest of the newborn, and if you want to ask your children to breastfeed other than mothers, then there is no sin on you if you hand over what you have agreed with the nursing woman of the wages of virtue without shortage or procrastination, and fear God by obeying his commands and avoiding his prohibitions, and know that God by what you are doing with foresight, nothing is hidden from him, and he will reward you for your deeds. One of the benefits of the verses, forbidding men from the injustice of women, whether it is by bending his money for marriage, or forcing her to do what she does not want. The Sharia preserves for the mother the right to breastfeed, even if she is divorced from her husband, and he must support her as long as she breastfeeds his child. Allah the Almighty forbade the spouses from taking the children as a means intended to harm the other. Urge that all matters relating to marital life be based on consultation and compromise between the spouses. 137.